When we think about Batman, we think about the traumatized rich billionaire playboy philanthropist who dresses up as a bat in black spandex to fight crime. Batman is one of the most recognized superheroes in fiction. His symbol drives fear into his enemies and hope into the citizens he saves. He's been adapted many times, from the onomatopoeic Adam West to the brooding Christian Bale.
And you're gonna love me.
Why do we like him so much? Well, in my opinion, it's due to the fact that he doesn't have any powers and yet still manages to outclass the likes of Superman and the Justice League. Batman is human, and that is also why we love him. He possesses human qualities that we can relate to. This is the same for Spider-Man. Batman in movies are diverse from head to toe to bat nipples. Most like Christopher Nolan's interpretation due to the vast storytelling and great acting. Robert Pattinson now has the pleasure to portray the Caped Crusader after Ben Affleck's decent attempt.
Yeah. Oh, something is definitely bleeding.
The Batman is a darker adaptation to the story, depicting his venture when he was only just started as Batman. The struggle between Bruce Wayne and Batman is likely to be explored. This actually reminds me of a game that released years ago by Telltale Games, which are known for making Telltale's The Walking Dead and like Wolf Among Us. This game is Telltale's Batman. This was interesting to me because Telltale are known for storytelling games, not free-roam beat-em-up games like the Arkham games. Having the ability to express more story-driven games about Batman opens a wide variety of opportunities. When watching gameplay of the game, I knew it was unique and I had to play it in the future. Now I have, for the second time. Now, let's get into the not so brief overview of the game. While responding to a break-in at Gotham City Hall, Batman engages in combat with a group of mercenaries. After sending them all to the hospital with a lot of broken bones, we encounter Catwoman.
Didn't your mother teach you to knock?
Having broken into the mayor's safe and stolen a drive. She tries to escape, but we give chase, and we brawl it out.
My back!
She runs away, but we electrocute her and we catch her from falling. She escapes by stealing my grappling hook, but also my heart. Returning to Wayne Manor, Bruce endorses Harvey Dent's fundraiser campaign against Mayor Hill.
Say hi, Bruce. Hi, Bruce.
During which, he meets crime lord Carmine Falcone. Falcone wants Bruce to side with him due to his family seeming to do so in the past.
You're a respectable man, I hear.
We reject him like countless girlfriends Bruce has had before. Aww. Back at the Batcave, we start investigating and decrypting the drive we stole off Catwoman, and Bruce receives a word from Alfred that his childhood friend Oswald Cobblepot, now a criminal called Penguin, has returned to Gotham City. Suspicious but intrigued, Bruce meets up in Cobblepot Park. I give a homeless man some change.
Thank you, sir.
And we get mugged by a sexually confused mugger. Oswald appears and we help him fight off the muggers. After, Oswald tells us that he's going to start a revolution and that Bruce should be on his side. The next day, we attend a press conference for a new mental facility replacing Arkham Asylum funded by Bruce and Harvey. During this, accusations are spread about the Wayne family being in the criminal empire.
The paper trail ties your family directly to the mob.
Bruce denies this, but we have to leave due to the GCPD searching our house due to the accusations. With these accusations coming into the light, we meet Harvey to discuss the situation.
The city will be behind you, Harvey, just like I am.
Bruce also meets Dent's girlfriend Selena Kyle, where we identified that she is Catwoman and she knows that I'm Batman.
I was mugged. I'm just angry I let that masked freak get away with all my stuff.
Oh, I'm hurt!
Selena gives Bruce the address of the meeting place with her employer, a warehouse at Gotham City docks. Investigating as Batman, he finds the location to be a site of a shootout between the GCPD and the same mercenaries from City Hall. Believing Falcone to be involved,
Falcone's calling card.
Bruce also finds evidence of a psychoactive agent being stored there. After finishing the decryption of the drive, Bruce discovers evidence of Falcone's criminal organisation, along with ties to Mayor Hill. After handing it over to Lieutenant James Gordon because he's an absolute G, Bruce confronts Falcone as Batman and interrogates him about the shootout, but after we take out all of his men.
Ramble like an egg before you get folded like an omelet, nigga.
Falcone admits to having ownership of the chemicals, but denies involvement in the shooting. Under further interrogation, he also reveals that the allegations against the Wayne family are true, confirming this with a photograph of them, Hill and Falcone. When Bruce confronts Alfred, he learns that his parents collaborated with Falcone and Hill to control Gotham, and that he had hidden the truth in hopes he would not follow in their footsteps. Following this, Bruce goes back to Crime Alley to recollect what actually happened with his family's murder. He finds out it was an actual assassination instead of a mugging gone wrong. Whilst confronting Falcone in the hospital on his family's criminal ties, Bruce witnesses his murder at the hands of Rena Montoya. We later find out she was drugged to do this. Batman deduces that Penguin was responsible for the shootout at the docks and the assassination, having synthesized the stolen chemical. After discovering that Cobblepot intends to murder Catwoman for failing her assignment to get the drive, this in turn leads us to meet her at a bar. We say she's in trouble and we are met with Penguin's goons.
I think they want more.
Then let's give it to him.
Bruce aids her escape. Stealing a phone from one of Selina's attackers, Bruce discovers that Hill has also been involved with the Penguin and confronts him on the information. Under interrogation, he reveals to have leaked information about Falcone and the Waynes to Cobblepot and his organisation, the Children of Arkham. To hold off their plans of attack, he also reveals that he and Wayne had used Arkham Asylum to get rid of people privy to their activities, a way of taking out the trash. When the Penguin and the Children of Arkham attack Harvey and Hill's debate, Batman is forced to make an alliance with Catwoman to stop them. During the attack, Cobblepot introduces their leader, Lady Arkham, and injects Denton Hill with the psychoactive drug.
First off, we should incinerate the pool.
I beg your pardon?
He reveals evidence of Thomas Wayne committing his mother to Arkham.
He didn't know when to stop. I had him killed because of it.
Killing Hill and disfiguring Dent, if the player chooses not to intervene. With the GCPD struggling against the Children of Arkham, Gordon calls upon alliance with Batman.
Batman symbol.
Coming from near the GCPD? That's one way to get the guy's attention.
Harvey is also sworn in as the new mayor, but begins to exhibit signs of aggression and a split personality. Due to allegations, Bruce is forced to step down as CEO of Wayne Enterprises, with Cobblepot replacing his position. We also meet Lucius Fox, the man who makes all our tech. We conclude that Wayne Tech has been hacked by the Children of Arkham. Through Vicky Vale, Batman learns that the Children of Arkham are operating out of the SkyTrain depot and stops the plan. During this, he is injured while fighting Lady Arkham. While staying at Selina's apartment to recover, Harvey discovers them, and believing them to be romantically, engaged. Well, he's not wrong. Due to this, he gives control to his split personality, Two-Face.
Of course, gotta be fair about this. Can't play favorites. How about we flip for it?
This isn't funny.
No, it really isn't.
At a press conference announcing his resignation, Bruce is injected with the drug by Vale, who reveals herself to be Lady Arkham. Using the drug's influence, she makes Bruce attack Cobblepot to make Bruce seem crazy on live TV. Committed to Arkham Asylum by Two-Face, Bruce meets and allies himself with a mysterious patient called John Doe. Doe reveals that Vicky's identity as a member of the Arkham family, whose parents were murdered by Thomas to keep his actions hidden, and sets up a fight to get Bruce bailed out, advising that he investigates the Veils. After curing himself of the drug's influence, Batman discovers that Vicky murdered her adopted parents in order to use her father's company to store the drugs. After Batman survives an attack conducted by the Penguin and relays the information to the GCPD, Two-Face, using a private army, blows up the warehouse and declares martial law. After discovering Penguin is hacking his tech, Batman is forced to choose whether to stop him and the children Arkham, or Two-Face and his enforcers. It doesn't matter which one you pick, both will be subdued in time. After assisting in the capture of either Dent or Cobblepot, Selina leaves Gotham City after stealing a prototype from company's R&D labs, though it is forced to give it back after being caught by Bruce. Returning to Wayne Manor after receiving a call from Alfred, Bruce finds that the children of Arkham had broken in and kidnapped him. Finding out where they're positioned, Batman investigates. Upon arrival, he finds the children of Arkham fled but discovers their plans to release the inmates of Arkham. Arriving at the asylum, just as they release the inmates, Batman fights through the riots and helps GCPD gain control. Pursuing Lady Arkham through the catacombs, he manages to rescue Alfred and defeat her. After the fight, Vicky is apparently killed as she attempts to escape the collapsing chamber. In the aftermath, Gordon is promoted to acting police commissioner to replace his deceased predecessor and plans to give a public speech regarding the incident. At Alfred's recommendation, Bruce attends the speech, either as himself or Batman. An assassin launches an attack at the event, but is quickly subdued. The series ends with Doe watching the event live on television, formulating a plan for the future.
See you soon, Brucey.
Despite me rambling for 10 minutes, the Telltale's adaptation is not recognised as much as it should be. The most well-known Batman game is the Arkham series. There's nothing bad about the series, definitely not. I love the free roam and the game mechanics such as the detective mode and the fighting. The story is very unique, especially the aspects concerning Bruce Wayne and Batman. Both personas are put into the battleground. Bruce has to deal with the fact that his family weren't the greatest people, and Batman is facing a villain that threatens everyone in Gotham. From what is known in the game, Batman is an established figure. He hasn't countered foes as big as Lady Arkham or Two-Face. He's still early into his journey, mainly taking out thugs or solving usual crimes. He is being put into an unknown situation, and as a player, we determine how he responds. You could be the darkest knight in Gotham, showing no remorse to those who are deemed to deserve punishment, or you could be the watchful protector, who sees good in people no matter what is shown. I personally went with the choices that I thought Batman would make. He is the protector of innocent and punisher of the guilty. He gives people chances that many are not usually given. He is full of courage and will do anything to make Gotham safe. The ones threatening the safety of Gotham is Lady Arkham and Two-Face. Also Penguin, but you see what happens to him. Lady Arkham is an original character made by Telltale. However, Vicky Vale is a DC character being the alter ego of Lady Arkham. Two-Face is a villain that isn't used enough in my opinion. He has a lot of depth to him and he really shines in this game. The Penguin is also a character and he's basically a pawn. He's there for some time, but he's alright. He's not really developed as much. He's just shown to be friends with Bruce and now he's a criminal working for the big lady. We get to know Harvey Dent as the assertive DA running for mayor. His intentions are honest and good, being the reason why Bruce supports him in the first place. Being drugged caused Harvey to create the personality of Two-Face. In the game, you can save Harvey from Penguin, stopping him from getting the burns that actually made him look like Two-Face, but that doesn't stop him from becoming Two-Face. Either way, Harvey will always be Two-Face. In-game, we can see that his personalities are struggling for power. The truthful DA is still trying to be good, but Two-Face is trying to be the executioner. Adding these details really make the story that much better. Going for Lady Arkham, she hasn't had much information about her, but appearing in this game tells us that she's a victim of crime. Crime committed by Thomas Wayne, Mayor Hill, and Carmine Falcone. Her foster parents beat her, and this resulted in her creating immense hatred. The hatred formed into her new identity. Her birthright was taken away and she wants it back. It's kind of like what Bruce did with his parents' death and turned it to him becoming Batman, but she kind of took it the wrong way. Twisting Bruce's origin is something I love because he never really knew who Thomas or Martha Wayne were, other than a rich, loving family. They loved Gotham so much to the point they wanted to rule it. The main factor that I love about this game is the ability to have an insight on Bruce Wayne's life, just as much as Batman's. Bruce is Batman and Batman is Bruce. They are the same. Not exploring one or the other will result in a dull adaptation, which this isn't. Bruce is forced out of luxury into a Gotham he does not recognize, and it is his duty to restore it to its former glory and make it better. Selina Kyle hasn't changed much, and she doesn't need to. Catwoman and Batman seemingly work together for the greater good, but Selina has other plans. The constant changes of her moral code make her a layered character due to her being unpredictable. One minute she could be all over Bruce, and the next she could have left town with all of his riches. Either way, she does the right thing in the end. Jim Gordon isn't the commissioner at this point, but the lieutenant. He gains the iconic position at the end of the game when the previous commissioner, Peter Grogan, is killed trying to stop an armed enforcer. Gordon is already stated as an ally, but he isn't fond of Batman's brutality, and if we continue the brutality, Gordon will not see Batman as the man he thinks he is. Alfred is a loyal companion, and you find he's a very endearing father figure. He wants you to be a good man, same as Gordon. Lucius Fox makes an appearance as sort of a blacksmith to Bruce Wayne's knight. He has a greater development in the next game, but he hasn't had much in this one. The music and art style are specific to Telltale. The art is amazing. The details and grunge type look make Gotham surreal, makes the crime seem like it's everywhere, and it's very unique. The music isn't terrible, but doesn't enforce a great response from me. It's not as drastic as the Christopher Nolan ones or even the iconic Michael Keaton ones, but still a good score nonetheless. The combat are quick time events, but having the ability to choose specific ways of fighting is interesting, allowing for multiple actions with the same outcome. Detective mode is alongside this, and the fighting and detective mode are blended together to allow for very nice takedowns. The world's greatest detective is shown here by reconstructing crime scenes and formulating plans of attack. Obviously, it won't be as significant as it would be in the Arkham series due to the fact that they are a story-driven game. It keeps the pace moving, but it can also slow it down. However, it is perspective. It's whoever plays it is going to know how the pace is kept. But I think it did it well. This game even warranted a sequel, Batman the Enemy Within. I played this and I'm willing to make a video on it as well. Overall, Telltale's Batman excels at creating a diverse story with ups and downs. The downs were mainly the animations and Penguin's accent. Seriously, he sounds like a British man and an Australian man are trying to fight for control, and I'm just rambling at this point.
Don't be like that, Bruce.
He tried though, so big up to the voice actor. This project explores Batman's inner conflicts and how it is resolved to the player being me and you. Nevertheless, the game is a tale to be told.